Hey, everybody. The Spectral Sailor. Myself and Jason is here on the bottom. Say hi, Jason.
Hello, guys.
And we have two guests tonight. Our original guest, Wayne, couldn't make it because he had really bad something happened in his family. So everyone send prayers to him, to the UK, to Wayne. He's a really awesome person, and for sure he'll be on the show later on. Some other time we'll reschedule him. But in the meantime, we got two other awesome guests. We have Philip and Blake. And they're going to be like, man, this is like a disco trip. You just keep switching. That's crazy.
I loved your intro, though. That was great.
Huh?
I loved your intro video. That's great.
Oh, yeah.
You like it? I made that. Thank you.
You did good.
I never made it early enough to see that, but I enjoyed watching it.
Thank you. Yeah, I spent a very long time on it, like way longer than how long it lasts. You have no idea. Like a days, I guess. But so I'll just put me back on there. That way it doesn't look like I have favor towards anyone at the moment. We kind of threw this idea for the show together last minute because of something, very badly happening to one of my friends, and they couldn't be on the show tonight. So we have Philip and Blake instead. And Blake was talking about making pieces of equipment and stuff today. And I asked him, hey, you want to be on the show? And then about that same time, Philip had said, hey, what time is the show? And so Philip's a medium, and Blake is going to make pieces of equipment. So I kind of thought it would be neat to talk about not versus like each other, but like pros and cons, I guess, of like a medium or someone with ability, sensitivity, psychic awareness, or connection, or someone coming in with equipment. What is your preference as a person? If you're an investigator and you're watching, what's your preference? What do you prefer to do? Do you prefer both? Do you prefer the affirmation of using them together? If you're a psychic or an investigator, what are y'all's views? So, Blake, I told you I'd let you tell everybody what kind of equipment you're going to make. So I'll go ahead and let you tell everybody what kind of projects and things you're thinking of, creating.
I'm starting off with just making small REM pods. A lot of people see them like the homemade style ones are the ones that are the smaller ones, not the big puck ones. And that's what I'm going to start making out with until I completely perfect the style of it that I want to make. And then later on, I'm also going to upgrade to making IR lights because those are relatively easy to make as well. Because I'm still learning new and everything. I've made REM pods before. I've made a couple. Sadly, they were taken away from me. And it's not that it was by force. It's I accidentally left them at my ex-roommate's house that lives in Ohio now, so he has them somewhere. And sadly, I don't speak to him very often anymore. So, and no, I'm hoping this can become my new thing. I currently do work an actual job, but hopefully in later that this will become, my full-time job is being able to supply for the public and teach them how to use these pieces of equipment that I'm learning and learned to use, But hopefully get to work with people more like Philip, because I want to see that aspect as well that I haven't got to see. I've seen the equipment side. I've seen what happens with the equipment, but I have not seen yet in an actual investigation what a psychic medium can do.
And before the show's over, if anyone has interest or inquiries about where to pre-order some pieces of equipment he'll be making, I'll let him put out what information and how to contact him. I wanted to know now, kind of to open the other half of the discussion up from Mr. Phillip. What are your views on both sides of the spectrum?
I love paranormal ghost hunting equipment. If it lights up, flashes, dings, bings, screams, I love it.
Well, mine will definitely scream. So
I love it all. And the more lights it has, the better. I mean, it's fun. But like I tell people, if I am feeling the energy of a male or a female or a child, I know what I'm getting, but I can't prove it to you. if there's a piece of equipment going off, if I'm communicating with a person and I say, can you please touch this piece of equipment and activate it? That can more validate what I'm getting. As mediums, unless the information is verified by a homeowner or someone that does research afterwards, I can't prove to you what I'm getting is true. Does that make sense? So we kind of have to work with equipment also, because the more validation you're getting from like what a medium's getting, what your equipment's doing, what the environmental detection devices are picking up, the more you can get happening, the better evidence that is for, something paranormal. So, there are things that mediums can do that equipment can't do. I mean, we can get messages, from the entities that are there, which a piece of equipment can maybe get a yes or no, or I am here. So I think it's really important that you work together, the two.
Yeah, I'm sure it lends better to like. I think of it kind of almost like if you have a dinner. If you just eat a pork chop by itself, it's kind of like, yay, this tastes really good, but I don't have a balanced dinner, so I need some green beans and corn with it and a drink.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of going to go off of Philip here and say, like, when you have both, the psychic medium and the equipment, and when they're both coming across with the same thing, that's just amazing. That's almost evidence you cannot deny when it's coming across with the same thing.
And a lot of times, if you're doing a residential investigation, I don't know how like your team would do it, but the team that I was on a few years ago, all the experiences the medium would have on the team, or the empath or sensitive, whatever, are not listed as evidence. They will be listed as personal experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Evidences are EVPs, EDI activations, those types of things. But what a medium get is not really listed as evidence, because unless they can validate it, you can't say that's proof positive evidence, if that makes sense. Now, I have many times, I usually will meditate before an investigation. Like if it's on a Saturday night, I'll start on a Thursday night and just asking if there's anybody connected with the case that needs help to come forward, give me information. And oftentimes I get information. So I will have to write it down and give it to someone else on the team and say, hold on to this until after we're finished, and let's see if, and that is sometimes mind blowing.
That's an awesome idea, or an awesome thing to add as far like what you just said. I give it to them so kind of like they can know that you're not just going along with it. They already gave it to them, and just they're tucking it away for safekeeping for afterwards to compare notes or
several years ago. It was a Thursday night, and I kept getting woken up by a soldier in an olive green uniform. Kept waking. This was before I had put up some boundaries about not waking me up. And I'm like, what is going on? And I'm trying to sleep, and I kept getting clearer and clearer. And I finally said, what do you want? And he said, please help me. And I said, I don't know how to help you. I don't know who you are. So that was it. So I wrote it down. I texted our team leader. I said, I saw this man. He's wearing this. He's got a shaved head, really pretty smile, baby, the whole thing. So that Saturday, I don't know anything about our investigation other than it's a heck of a long drive from where I live. So we walk in the door of this client's house, and the first thing I see on top of the piano is this soldier's picture in uniform, and I just busted out laughing.
That's crazy. I would do. I'd have been like, "What?"
And I said, "Look familiar," and he's like, "Oh my god!" I said, "So."
I would have freaked out.
He needs me to help. It was the granddaughter. That was a grandfather killed in Vietnam.
Oh wow!
I was going to say all of Green's normally Vietnam or Korea.
name. I was thinking, I don't know my uniforms, but to me, the hat was like the pointed guy. I don't know. I was
Like
thinking,
the one that goes like this.
yes.
It's a
That kind of
total.
looks like the sailor hat that we can fold out of
Or
paper
it's
and stuff.
a that's a garrison cap, but most
Hmm.
branches have a cap like that in one of their uniforms. I know the Army
I
has
see
one.
it
Our
normally
uniform.
with Navy, but
Yeah,
not with that. But
yeah, we have
Hey,
those, but then they're different because they're not green; they're
yeah.
black
hmm
only. But in your other military branches, I know in the Army they have one that's a different color. It's not black; it's green, or I think it's still green. Back then, it was green. And I just saw the Marines actually broke out their old uniforms. I saw someone wearing them this weekend, and they looked sharp. They looked nice. I was jealous. I was like, man, make us look bad. They look
But
good.
if I hadn't texted all that information to somebody else
Yeah.
before we went, I couldn't say, "Oh, this man came to me in my dreams." They're like, "Oh yeah, right, whatever." But
Yeah.
it was time stamped. It was interesting. And at the end of the night, I told the homeowner about him coming to visit, um, and she was just kind of blown away. I mean, I was too, really.
And it was the grandfather, you said, right?
The grandfather, and what
Yeah.
was going on in the house was her family had a long military history, and they had a lot of military memorabilia in this big display case with Native American artifacts, which is a big no-no
Oh,
because
man.
we treat them like crap, the U.S.
Yeah.
military. And,
Especially back then.
yeah, and they had a lot of things that needed to be separated and removed, but so I don't know if they ever did it. My leader was horrible about letting us know about follow up. That's one reason I left. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I was able to help. He knew I was going there before I knew I was going there. The spirit,
you
but
know,
we used equipment. We used a REM pod to get him to verify that was him because we put it in the hallway, and I said, "Was that you that came to visit me?" And the REM pod went off. So he would validate that way. So that's how we work together with equipment.
especially with the REM pod, that's a big one. I mean, yeah, it can be, used to, like, if people say they've seen apparitions walking up and down this hallway, yeah, put one there. But you
Yeah,
can also use them as verifications,
Hey,
like make it
Steven.
beep for yes, make it beep for no, or
yeah.
don't make it beep for no.
Or make the lights go to different colors.
Yeah, in which the ones that I'm building are only going to have one or two lights on them, but still, you can same
Yeah,
thing. That's what I use the K2 for a lot. Is I don't use it to just swipe the area because that's when you can get the electrical interference and everything. I'll put it down and be like, "If show me you're here by making that light up."
yeah.
I'm going to ask Jason what he thinks because he's not going to talk if y'all are talking. He's just going to be like his mouth open and then he won't say it. What do you think about both
No,
one,
just
other?
yeah, I just listening to the answers and where both sides are coming from. I think that it's really great to have both when you can at a same location. Um, I think like you were saying earlier, medium's going to see things a little bit differently. Whether than using equipment, it's mostly just type yes and no questions you can really get answers to. I think you can have a deeper conversation and understanding with the medium, but when
Hmm.
you can back it up with any type of equipment, that's pretty cool. Whether it be like the REM pod or whatever you're using. But
Hey,
a K2 is a good thing too, like you're saying. But just equipment wise and our experience wise is that you're just gonna be able to answer yes and no questions with those things. Um,
mhm.
but there's the different aspects of things you can do if you have a medium available. That that can back up claims or conversations rather than just yes and no stuff. But I think it's both. I think they're both interesting, obviously, and we utilize both of them on our team. But, now I will ask you this: what part of the country are both of you from?
What? Say that again. I'm sorry, you had an echo.
What part of the country are both of you guys from?
Oh, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
Wabash, Indiana.
Ah,
Wabash, Indiana. Never been to Wabash, Indiana. No, I've never.
It's
maybe
small
I've heard.
town USA. But
Mhm.
a cool fact about Wabash, we were the first electrically lighted city in the world.
Yeah,
very cool.
maybe that's where I heard of it.
Yeah, people don't believe us, but it wasn't the full city is the thing. The reason why we got it is because our old courthouse that still stands today, they have 4 lights that are on the top, and they actually used to be so bright that it would fully illuminate most of town.
Oh, wow.
But that's before the town is as big as it is now, because then we have north side, south side, whatever. But yep, and Jeremy York, he lives about 45 minutes away from me.
Oh yeah. So
That's not
either
everybody.
one of you guys on a team now, or?
No, I founded and run my own team, Paranormal Truth Society. We just go by PTS. But we have done work with Jeremy, Crystal, and Tim Kohler. But we were hopefully, because my team, we are about to go down to Randolph Infirmary down in Winchester, Indiana. And
Okay.
we were originally, it was going to be me, Jeremy, and Tim and Crystal again. But Jeremy got slammed with work, and I haven't heard anything from Tim and Crystal because they've been super busy. They just had a kid graduate, so I understand right this specific time is very busy for them.
Right.
But I do have a lot of people joining me, and I'm actually get the honor of bringing my little brother into the paranormal field when we go down to Randolph. So it's very exciting for me, especially being able to introduce him and show him how we actually do things.
Yeah, that's cool. It's fun always to show somebody.
When you said little brother, how old is he?
He's 16. I told him that was the rule until he was 16. In which, I just started, last year, and he goes, take me. I was like, wait till you're 16. And then finally he turned 16 this week. So,
Well,
and
tell
then
him
our
to
investigation
go
is next week.
Tell him to go on Ghost Education 101 on YouTube
Mhm.
and learn all about how to investigate different types of hauntings, different entities. Be a good little crash course for it. Just put the plug in.
Oh yeah, but I mean, in my personal belief, nothing beats the actually being into it. That's the best way to learn for me, at least, is actually being there doing it. But it's always safe to learn a little bit something. How to protect yourself, and I really hope that Crystal and Tim can make it, because Crystal's really good at what she does for her protection and everything. And so I just hope, just seeing different aspects of it. Some people pray. I like to ground myself and meditate. And Crystal does the same as that, but then also adds sage baths to it. And let me tell you, I love the sage that she used because it smelled like sausage. It made the fat boy hungry.
Sage. Yeah.
I think she said it was dragon's blood sage.
Oh, was it? Okay, it's the red one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does have. Okay, I can see.
They told me white sage smells a lot like marijuana, and that's why they don't use it a lot, especially when you're about to leave a location.
Yeah.
Because then, what if you get pulled over and you just took a sage bath, and what are the police going to think then?
Yeah, man.
Good point.
Yeah, I don't think there's a wrong way to do any kind of protections. I think every team and every individual that does this kind of does their own thing. But the thing about that is something is better than nothing. So
yes,
that doesn't mean there's a wrong way or right.
There's not. But just leaving a location and not doing completely anything about it, that's what leaves yourself open to an attachment.
Absolutely.
Whether if it's just a small thing as verbally telling the spirits that they cannot follow you and attach to you or your equipment, that's worked a lot for me. That's what I did when I was first starting out, was just verbally telling them that they are not allowed to follow me or my team or attach to my equipment. That worked a lot for me until one of my team members, last I knew, is still suffering from an attachment.
Yeah, we know that all too well. No matter how you're telling a spirit to stay where it needs to stay, but that doesn't always work. They do attach themselves and follow you. Now I don't know if you guys ever heard of Rebecca the Ghost God. I don't know if you follow her on TikTok or YouTube or anything, but like she'll say is your best defense against anything is yourself. Make sure you put the boundary out there and they're not allowed to follow you, but at the same time she uses protections and stuff too. But it's you want to still back that up with some sort of protection prayer or holy oil or holy water or something like that, but because they don't always just listen to what you're telling them.
Exactly. They don't ever like to listen very much. I learned that the hard way too. Because Philip, you were talking about earlier about the spirit knowing you were going to be there before you were there.
Yeah.
There is another team here in Wabash. I don't know if you guys know them. I know Jeremy does, but they're Shadow Seekers Paranormal. It's
in there.
And they have a case that is personal to them. I will not release any details about it, but me and my team, we went out to a location, and then afterwards, another team member that I had been staying with at the time, we started suffering phenomena in the apartment. Footsteps, knocks, doors opening, and then the last thing that got us before I contacted Shadow Seekers was that we were, all of us, there was 4 of us in the apartment at the time. All of us were out in the living room, and boom, the light in the kitchen flicked on. And when we walked over there to investigate, the full-on switch was flicked on. And that's when I reached out, because this is right after my team had just started. We had just founded. And so we're still pretty new and pretty, scared about it. And we reached out to them. They brought some equipment with them, and come to find out, we're pretty sure it was a spirit that they were focusing on from theirs that had attached to us and followed us, and knew that I would reach out to the certain team.
That's why it's important to be prepared. Do your homework, because these things are real and can happen. Even when you do these things, the stuff can still happen. And if you're not knowledgeable about how this happens, what to do when it does happen, it can be very frightening. I mean, you've got to be prepared. There's nothing like jumping in and doing it and just learning. But if something happens that you're not prepared for, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. Like teams going in and using a Ouija board in a home.
I won't let my team do it. They try to beg me to let them do it, and I told them no.
It's too risky, I think.
Yeah. I mean, we even ask clients if we could do ITC in a house. Some know what it is and don't even want that done in the house, which I understand. It's an invitation you're opening up, just kind of like a Ouija board. But being prepared, you got to be prepared. And what you said about not attaching to you or your equipment is important, because they will attach to equipment, because I had that happen. When I first started going out, I had one of my big ITC devices is in this big heavy case. And I would come home, put it here in my office. It has its special place. And I'd go into the living room, and I'd be sitting, and I would hear the latches flip open on it.
Oh, wow.
A distinctive sound. It's a toolbox.
Yeah.
The sound sounds like. I'm like, what the hell was that? And so I walked in here, and I looked, The latches were not open, but I heard it open. Go back, sit down. Then I hear 2 knocks on the wall and the latches flip again. I was like, okay, I know what I come running in here. It's nothing's changed. I'm like, all right, I don't know what you are. You got to get the hell out of my house because I'm not going to put up with this crap. And so it can happen. It can happen. Yeah. And I've had banging on the walls for a few days after investigations on more than one occasion. Even when you say, "Do not attach to me. Do not attach to my equipment. Do not follow me on." Blah blah blah. They're like, "Yeah, what are you going to do?" So you got to take control sometimes, and your thoughts and your intentions are the rules, and you have to say, "This is not going to work for me." So you're going to have to get out.
This is the little brother I told you I get to pop his paranormal cherry next week.
Get us some black tourmaline put in his pocket.
What was that that YouTube channel that you were talking about, Philip?
Oh, Ghost Education 101, and we also have a Facebook page.
Look up Ghost Education 101 on YouTube and Facebook and watch some of their videos.
Have him. He needs to look at the types of hauntings and also investigation protocols and procedures. That'll give him a good overview of how an investigation goes.
All right. Yeah, he heard you. He'll check him out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gave me a good old thumbs up as he was trying to walk out of the room. I think I embarrassed him a little bit.
It'll embarrass him when he goes somewhere and hears something growl at him and he takes off.
Oh my God.
That's when you embarrass.
How funny. Yeah, then he might he'll probably think it's an animal first. But if you get educated, you'll expect stuff like that to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I definitely will make sure he's protected.
And there's also things like if you're sitting doing a EVP session and you move and your chair squeaks, just say that was me and tag everything.
Exactly.
Your stomach growls, so make sure he knows those things, because stomach growling in an EVP session can be really sounds like something on your recorder.
Yeah, or if you're in a rocking chair,
especially with this EVP device.
Yeah.
On a hard floor. When we were at the Broken Bow Asylum and I was in a rocking chair and it was a hard floor and it sounded like an old creak, like someone would be walking above you in the story above you and you'd hear a footstep and a creak and there was no one up there, but it was really me sitting in a rocking chair. And I was like, I'm sitting in a rocking chair right now, so everybody knows this is me.
Because I just got this one and it's got a double mic set up, so it definitely is probably going to pick up the very slightest noises.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm definitely going to have to make sure everybody knows that they have to tag it. You know, that was one of the first things I was taught by Shadow Seekers and things, Jeremy and them. You know, I call Crystal my paramom, you know, because those three have taught me a lot. And, you know, Tim's a great guy. He's always good for a laugh, but he also knows what he's doing. And awesome people. And I'm, like I tell people in almost every show that you guys bring me on, I'm just so thankful for all the people that I've met through Pun and everything, you know. And I literally started talking to Jeremy just because of reserving a booth at his Para-Unity event. And it was all lost to time from there.
We've got to help each other. I mean, we're all trying to get the same thing. Is proof of life after death, basically, is what we're, you know, searching for.
Mm-hmm.
We've got to help each other. We want each other to be safe. We want each other to do things the right way. And we're dealing with, well, not always, but most often human spirits. We keep forgetting we're dealing with.
I'm like, are the comments covering up my head? Sorry. I'm like, where is on there? Where'd I go? It's funny. Go ahead. Sorry. The Para-Unity thing is that term, but people are jealous of each other and competitive and blah blah blah. But I mean, I'm always I like to learn stuff. I like to share it. I don't know everything, but what I know, I'd love to share it with people. I mean,
This is what it should be, but I know it's not. But
We have a Ouija board comment. I don't know how many times y'all have used them. I've had a lot of experiences with them that were not good, a lot of experiences that were okay, but still, in the end, I've had a lot of weird experiences, period, in the paranormal that I didn't feel comfortable with. So that's why I really don't like to think that people should use Ouija boards, especially because I'm going to say probably I'm okay in saying that about 80% of people that would use them probably wouldn't use them the correct way.
I'll just say a few years ago, we had 4 cases in 1 year, and the common denominator were
Ouija board.
family members used Ouija board. That was the only thing that would have explained why there were things happening to the families. Because they did not know what amateurs using Ouija boards. You're opening this door, inviting people in. Spirits will lie. Like we talked about the other night, then you just don't shut the door and you just leave it open, and something can happen 20 years later because you left that door open. So amateurs should not use any type of invitational equipment.
Divination included.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you don't know how to do it, don't do Ouija boards, don't do tarot cards, don't do I wouldn't even do a spirit box session unless you know how to clear and cleanse your space, clear and cleanse yourself, and clear and cleanse and start and close and open the sessions.
And a lot of other people don't realize the small things go far, especially and equipment wise. Like I just went to Walmart the other day and picked this bad boy up for $3. And it's awesome to lug around all your extra batteries so you just don't have them in a loose baggie. They're all organized. Yeah. You know where they're at. This is a great trick that was taught to me by one of the Shadow Seekers members. I mean, his is by far way bigger than mine is. It's just a utility tray box. Made by Ozark, the camping company, and it was $3. I mean, you can't beat that, and it's got the cool little design on the back.
Yeah, hold it over the box. Sorry.
And another good thing to get are where's my camera? Rechargeable battery packs.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can run my 4K camera off this thing all night long because those little batteries that come with cameras, last 2 hours if you're lucky. But these, I've got a ton of these. And anything with a USB port, you're good all night and don't have to worry about battery, because I'm the worst about forgetting to bring batteries. So I always have all these.
My next thing, I need to find a backpack to just carry everything in, and then hopefully upgrade to one of those Craftsman crates with the wheels on them.
That's what I have. I got 2 of those. Yeah.
Well, that's what. Once you get at least one of them, you've made it equipment-wise. You're set.
And then once you fill 2 of those up, it's like, oh crap! Now I've got to. And you'll fill them up over the years. That's for sure. But you don't have the same equipment for every investigation. You kind of tailor your equipment to what do you think the investigation is going to be. I don't take everything to every investigation. Because I'd be packing equipment for hours. And a good thing to do is inventory what you take and check it off when you repack it. Or know exactly in your case where everything goes. So when you're getting ready to go, if there's a spot empty in your case, it's like, okay, where did I leave it? I mean, I've left something in an attic.
That's a good, yeah.
I left something at a house that was an hour and a half away that was very expensive that I had to drive back and get because we were so exhausted. When you're up at 4, 5 in the morning and all you want to do is get in bed, go home.
We're hungry and you want to hurry and go get food.
Yeah. So, and that could be, I never did get the one piece of equipment I left in the attic that time because it was so far away, and I kept calling them and said, could you please go in the attic? And I'm not going up in that attic after hearing one.
That's funny.
I'm like, well, it's a motion detector, but anyway.
You want me to go get in my own attic? What? No.
Oh yeah, they ended up moving. So
So do y'all have a go-to spot like to go get like after your investigations are over to go get something to eat? You know, where y'all like to go to Taco Bell? What y'all like to do?
McDonald's.
Yeah,
gotta go to the Waffle House.
yeah. Waffle
Well,
House.
see, you get Waffle Houses. I live up north. I don't get those.
Well, I'm sorry.
But do you have like Shoney's? Do you have a Shoney's?
Never even heard of that.
What?
We have IHOP.
George
That's
said
one of the go-tos.
donuts.
Now,
George said
John
donuts.
asked
Yeah.
a question here. Who
Yeah,
wants
what's the
to-
difference? What's the difference in your opinion between a spirit box or just a basic EVP session? I know what it is, but I'll let you guys answer if y'all want to.
A spirit box can be easily misconstrued of what you hear come through because you can get a lot of radio interference, but then a lot of EVP sessions can also be misconstrued because, like you said, with the stomach growl, if something happens and somebody doesn't take it or tag it, you can misconstrue it as, oh, a growl came across and all that. So either one are both great resources, but can both easily be misconstrued. But I would rather go with an EVP over a spirit box.
Yeah, the biggest thing, the difference is spirit boxes we can hear with our ears. An authentic EVP, your recorder picks it up. We don't hear it with our ears. So we're not going to hear an EVP when it happens. Now, a disembodied voice we can hear with our ears, which those are cool.
Those are always fun. Then you look at everybody. Did you say that? Did you say that?
Yeah, that's a freaky one. When that happens. But those are the two. That's big differences.
Mhm. Yeah, I think those are both explained pretty good. I think when you hear a disembodied voice, obviously that is different than you pulling up on EVP. But and growls and everything like we're talking about, which we've experienced numerous times. And it is great to morph things, and it is true that going back to the food a little bit, when your stomach's growling, you can pick that up and think it's something different. It really can.
That's why I tell people
we've got
it's
great
always. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say that it's always important to eat before you go, take drinks and snacks, and then eat after you're done.
Mm-hmm.
Right. We try to do.
So you don't get ghost sickness or whatever they call it.
Get drained because the ghost can drain human energy. I've been affected by that.
Mm-hmm.
They will drain your energy, and the only best way to get that replenished is food.
Got a paranormal hangover.
Oh, yeah.
Which does happen, and it doesn't really affect me much, but I've seen it affect her quite a bit when we go somewhere. But
it gets me a lot. It makes me queasy and gives me a really bad headache a lot. They like to toy with me. I don't know what it is. It might be the big tall fat guy. He's the one we need to take out first, because he's the big guy. Like I'm probably the nicest person on my team. So
I told him that you get messed with, Jason. I don't get messed with. I just get communicated with or drained or connected with, but you get stuff thrown at you and hit with stuff.
That's good.
He's my target.
Yeah, I have been scratched twice already.
Yeah.
And that was one of my first actual in-depth investigations. And we were all sitting in the basement of, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the Davies house in Kokomo.
I've heard the Davies house, but I don't really know the background, and I can't remember where I heard it.
Jeremy and Crystal went live when they were there with us. That was the investigation I was telling you guys about. They went live on Pun Network with it.
Maybe that's where I heard it.
And that wasn't the night I was scratched out. This was several months before that. But we were all sitting down there, and I mean, it was a public one, but it wasn't a lot of people,
Sorry.
So it was. I mean, what's weird about the house? It's backwards from what we all know. Like most places don't like big groups or a lot of people. but or you're not supposed to taunt or tease, the spirits. But that house lives for it, likes the big groups of people, but then will still try and split them up into singles, and then it won't do anything unless you taunt it. It won't. It'll just sit empty until or it'll do the small things, but it won't do nothing spectacular unless you taunt it. It loves it. It lives for it, and we don't know why. It's still very unexplained why the house is the way it is.
Is it structured odd, or is it a weird floor layout? Like they re-added on different buildings, or they purposely built it weird or strange? Like
the only weird thing about that house is in the kitchen. They took the countertops and they left a gap about this big to get to the upstairs. And I'll tell you, I'm a big guy, and so I walked through there. I just picked up my stomach,
you're like,
smacked it
here
on
comes
the counter, and just
my
put me through like this, and that's the only odd thing. No, it's a very normal house for the time period it was built in. Very normal layout. It had the one odd thing that I do still to this day think is odd is upstairs they have a jacuzzi tub all by itself in a whole big room all by itself.
Party.
And we call it the boom boom room. It was the party room.
All right.
It used to be a real big party house. A lot of drugs, intercourse activities,
What's that,
parties.
That's what happened in the boom boom room, is what you're saying?
The room with the tub, we all call it the boom boom room.
Mm-hmm.
Wear your gloves in that room.
Yep, don't sit in the tub unless you're
bring your light.
Bring your black light. Yeah.
I don't want to know. I don't want to see. I don't want to see it. I don't.
You also need to see what kind of land is it built on. Is it built on granite? Is there a quartz vein running under the house? Trains nearby, rivers nearby.
I don't know what I'm seeing, but I'm seeing something that looks like a four-way. That looks like it's shaped like this. It's shaped like that. Does that make sense?
Like a floorway?
Yeah, I'm seeing something that's shaped like a four-way, like something on this way and something on this way across it, and I don't know what it is. It's just like imprinting my mind right now, and I don't know if it's something that's in the floor, in the ground, but I'm feeling like it's in the floor or the ground or in the walls.
I mean, I guess I could depict the hallway that leads between the red room, the dining room, the bathroom, and Rita's room. Because when you come to the house, you walk into the dining room, and then if you take a sharp right, it'll take you straight into the bathroom. But if you go into the hallway, turn right, it's the red room. But then if you turn left and go down the hallway, it's Rita's room, which Rita's room is the one that we get a lot of stuff in. And then red room used to be the equipment / safe room until one night when I was there and it was no longer safe. Whatever was with it had been broken.
Mm-hmm.
And
overdose or suicide there?
There was an accidental suicide, and we're pretty sure there's been multiple overdoses that had just not been documented.
Yeah, there's a younger woman there with long dark hair, skinny.
With the suicide, there had been a fight between a couple, and the man was going to leave. And so, to our knowledge, she had planned to be right there at the bottom of the basement stairs, and where they originally
your little hand signals here. No, go ahead.
When you walk down the stairs, there's a door that goes outside, but then you got to turn left to actually go down in the basement. So she was there. She was all tied up and everything, and had her stool, and she heard his footsteps coming through, and it sounded like he was walking down the steps to go out the back door like they normally did. He never walked down there. And so when she thought she heard him coming, she kicked the stool bucket, whatever it was, out from underneath her, thinking he would save her. And he never did. He never went out that door. He went out the front door. And so we're pretty sure that something with spirits has been there for a very, very long time. And that's why we call it an accidental, because we don't know if it was truly purposeful or if. But
what period would that have been? Do you know?
I would not know. I don't know if you guys know. Hope. I believe you pronounce her name Ripburger. No, Joshua, it's not in California. It's in Kokomo, Indiana.
Kokomo?
Getting
Kokomo, Indiana.
early
That's a cool name.
But there's a site. If the police, if there are any deaths in there that were reported by the police, reported, tried, died in my house.com. And if there was a police report made on it, if you put in the address, it should show it if there was a police report on any deaths at the house.
I mean, we call it the Davies house because the original family was the Davies. It was owned and built by a man called Robert C. Davies. He was a very prominent figure in the poor community back in the 30s of Kokomo. And his wake and I believe his first son's wake were both held in the house. And that's a cool thing. Normally we can get Mr. Davies to tell us where his casket was when we walk through there. And but then there was also Rita, who was heavily abused in that house. And the room that's called Rita's room is the room that her abuser would lock her in.
Oh, I was watching that night. That's when I kept saying there's a cross in the closet scratched in the wall.
Yeah.
Where was that at?
Yeah, I remember.
And
I think.
she was so heavily abused that she
Okay.
reverted to a child's mental state.
Yeah.
And
Associative disorder.
that's where I get a lot of my experiences, because every time I go in that room, when they showed you that room, that back right corner when you walk in, right between both those windows, I'll sit right there in a lawn chair, and it always feels like a cold air comes up on me and just sits in my lap. Just sits there.
So that's when you need to have the temperature, like a EDI or something, to show temperature changes. So you can validate with that feeling, like a medium with a piece of equipment.
We don't have anything that special yet, but
A regular.
definitely have. I tell people, reach your hand in right above my stomach area and everything, and everybody's always said it feels ice cold right there when it's hot in the house. And that's normally when I'm sensitive wise, I can feel it, like something come up on me, not particularly rush me, but just be there in their presence. And it always feels like, like they're laying their head across my chest and sitting across my lap. It's always what it feels like. That's the only areas of my body that are cold.
Yeah, the cross that I said it would be on the floor and the wall, or like the cross section, is the cross that you said you saw.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, you're getting that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I could definitely see that. But
I was like, the
as of
floor
right
of the
now,
wall, and it looks like this. I don't know what it is, but yeah, it has to be the cross.
as of right now, we're no longer allowed to investigate it, sadly. The owner of the property is fixing it up to sell the house.
Oh, good luck with that.
Yeah, we don't think anybody else is going to last very long in the house.
Yeah. Doing work to stir things up.
I did on my group page a couple times before I had been affiliated with Jeremy and them, but Jeremy and Crystal definitely did do a live on StreamYard when they were there with us.
Yeah, there's a girl there very jealous of Crystal.
They were jealous of Crystal, the female spirit.
One of them, yeah.
That's funny. Interesting.
And that's the thing. Yeah, Crystal, you were there. Crystal kept getting attacked, like energy attacked wise.
But there's also, I'm getting an older man that likes young girls.
And that's the thing. We theorized that Mr. Davies did do stuff with younger people.
That's why you're saying that stuff. Is her name Rachel? Who's the girl that's on your team or goes with you?
Nicole.
Was that what y'all were talking about earlier in your thing, that he liked her?
The Davies house in general likes her because since it was a big party house and everything, she comes from a dancing background, and they knew that.
Ah.
So that's why they really liked her presence in the house.
Jeff.
But they didn't like me because I was protective of her, because I protected her. And they didn't like that. They didn't like the big guy was, right here behind her, always with her.
But this Mr. Davies appeared to be the pillar of society that was a perv, is what I'm getting.
He was a very, very strong figure in the poor community.
Yeah.
He helped a lot of people and children out.
Uh-huh.
So, and Nicole actually found that out. Found reports of that Mr. Davies might have been
Yeah.
an assaulter and groomer and
Predator.
predator. That's the perfect word for it.
I don't know what a groomer is. I don't know if I want to know.
Yeah.
Take somebody under his wing and mold them into
the type of thing or person he wants them to be.
That's a groomer?
For him to take advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And and once we figured that out and said something about it, that's the night that I had this has never happened to me before except for this time, is when I was physically having visions, consciously having visions in that house. And then I walked out of that red room and saw the same figure I was having visions of standing right in front of me. And I just walked past it, walked out of the house. And then Nicole got rushed by that figure. I apparently had blacked out as soon as I got outside the house because my roommate at the time had come out. And I was just sitting there, cigarette barely hanging from my lips. And he was shaking me, trying to get my attention. And I had told him I'm taking a break from the house. It has completely drained me. This is totally different for this house. And then Nicole, my roommate, and then one of their friends proceeded to return the next night and took my roommate's mom with them, who she is a very, very powerful empath. When I was roommating, she lived with us at the time. And I had actually awoken her from a dead slumber because of a nightmare I was having.
Mm-hmm.
And they're very lucky that she was there because a spirit tried to possess my roommate. They said they watched his eyes turn full on black and his just a blank feature on his face. But she has done energy works and has studied that kind of stuff, so she was able to knock it off before it could actually grab hold of him. But then it hopped over to Nicole. And they said her eyes went to slits like a cat or a goat's, and they got a hold of her for a few minutes, and they actually they did get it off her. But ever since then, to my knowledge, till this day, she still suffers an attachment from that spirit.
Huh.
And we're pretty sure that spirit followed her home because after then, the Davies house completely changed. It wasn't as dark as it used to be. It's still very active, but it's not as dark as it used to be. But I do think whenever we bring Nicole back to the house, like you were saying, you felt something wanted us to anger it. When we were there with Jeremy and them, I believe it follows Nicole every time that she comes back to the Davies. It's always there with us whenever we bring her back in the house.
It definitely sounds like a place we'd like to go.
I don't know about me. I have to rest up for that one. I don't know.
So, especially since then, I've definitely become very, very protective of my team and especially her, because I don't know what it is with her. She's always targeted by a lot of spirits.
It's like a good practice is every hour the team meets outside and does a wellness check on each other. You need to look, ask questions, and see if everybody's okay, and then
we do that because I do smoke. So whenever I go out for a smoke break, I bring everybody outside and check on everybody. Well, wellness check on them, just not myself. I'm bringing my wellness down with putting that thing in my mouth. But
I was joking. I was being sarcastic.
But no, yeah, we do that where I bring everybody outside, or at least try to. Not everybody likes to listen to me, but I do bring most of everybody outside and check on them, and then I do keep a very keen eye on everybody while we're doing the investigation anyway, just to see if anything about their mannerisms change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if their personality's changing, or
I would say to Joshua,
getting irritated easily.
Yeah, Joshua, that's why it's good to have teammates, because they can pull you out of there if that stuff starts to happen, and that
That's
happened to
what
me at
I'm
one house.
saying. Every time that you go somewhere, at least have 2 people. Never go alone.
Uh-huh. Do you remember Jason when I went to the fee house and I went nuts on you and the pizza guy?
Yeah, I remember.
I was like, I'm gonna kill somebody. It was a really powerful house, and I hadn't actually experienced that ever before, and I haven't actually felt that in any other place we've been at. I mean, when in this place, we're actually interviewing these guys next week that own this house.
How are you? How's he doing? The one, he's had some issues.
He has had some issues. He's had a lot of health issues, and I know he's better now, but I don't know feeling wise how he's feeling. Like situational wise, as far as his body goes, I think he's in a better body situation as far as his organs and stuff. But I was going to ask him some questions about that and like how directly related he thought that might be to them moving there, because I don't think he had those health issues before that. But that house, I feel strongly that it had a relation to that, because that was the only house that we've ever gone in that I went, and I came outside and I was trying to order all of us pizza, and I was like cussing out the pizza guy on the phone, telling him it was stupid and he needed to stop getting high before he went to work and learn how to do his job.
And that's completely crazy, because just the amount of times that I've talked to you, Rosie, that doesn't seem like the type of person you are at all.
See, I hate to tell you about, we spit in your pizza before you
Oh, yeah, I canceled my order.
But there's a woman that fell and died at the bottom of the steps or something in the house?
So yeah.
I mean, there's a possibility. There's ticked off people. We were supposed to go right. I think it was COVID hit and we couldn't go. So and then
to the fee house.
Yeah, we're going to drive out there.
You have to go there.
But with this, are they still having people?
I'm pretty sure they're still having people come in. I would just check and make sure with his health that he's still. I know that there's another team that I know of that's from around here, and they're friends with me, and they're going there soon, or they just went there. Yeah.
I think they're advertising events to go there. So yeah.
Okay,
yeah. I really like them. They're nice people too, and they're really cool.
Yeah. Drew's pretty cool.
And I want to say that too, in case there's anybody out there watching that's from the people that run Randolph. They are honestly amazing. They've worked a lot with me, given money situation. They've given me time to actually get the money together to pay for everything, because it was $400 for one night on a weekday, and it's from 6 p.m. till 10 a.m. And they do actually, what I've heard is allow you to sleep there as long as you bring your own bedding. They have beds, but you have to bring your own bedding. Because it used to be an old poor farm, is what some of my research has told me.
I'm not sure what this means, but group wellness check and full dissection.
I'm not dissecting anybody. That's brutal manslaughter, I'm pretty sure. I am not Dahmer.
Jason, do you want the spirits to dissect you? Because they're not going to dissect me unless it's like, spiritually.
I open myself.
Jackie's saying about their lumbar. Actually, I have an injury in my lumbar.
Do you?
I very much injured my lumbar. My sophomore year of high school, I almost snapped it in two.
Oh.
I had a stress fracture, and it was almost clean through, almost a clean break. And that's why I got this big old Tempur-Pedic pillow behind my back right now, is because the hardwood chairs. And yeah, that's why you keep seeing me move side to side, because I'm stretching my back out. And then they're saying both sides. That's what it did. It would fluctuate between both sides different days. And
yeah, I mean, you gotta be careful when you go to different places that are have a lot of activity, because it's like I always open myself up to them they can use my energy to work with our equipment or whatever, And if you really can't handle that, or if you've never done it before, don't do it. But it could it can really affect you in different ways.
Yep.
See,
But
last year, I'm sorry.
well, I'm just going to say that also opens up communication in a way too, because then they're more active with you as far as like it could be more physically sometimes. Like if they're gonna like pull on your clothes or whatever it is, it's like, hey man, we've got permission to mess with this guy. It's kind of what
Hmm.
they do it sometimes, and then sometimes when they spiritually attack you unwillingly, like Rosie there, that can happen too. So
Yeah, it was just like crazy. I went from being normal to just like really mad and really angry and confused all at the same time.
And let me tell y'all, I learned real quick that spirits can mess with physical ailments that you have because last year I had been diagnosed with major blood clots. I had a huge one on my leg, and then I had a huge one that went down my lungs and into both of them. And let me tell you, they would mess with me bad because I founded my group right after I had got everything flowing to where I could actually go back out and do things again. And let me tell you, there'd be sometimes it'd feel like they just stuck their hand right in the middle of my chest and twisted, or like my leg would feel horrible and I'd just drop and
And you're still smoking? Son, you know better than that. You have got to stop smoking.
everybody else is on the the side of that argument that you are.
You promised Papa Philip you're going to stop smoking.
I don't make promises I can't keep.
At least you're honest about it.
Oh my
well,
goodness.
yeah,
I'm
Rosie,
going to, but I wanted to put this on there too. Almost killed in December 2019 in a car accident. Re-broke my spine and my sternum.
Ooh.
It's been terrible for the last 3 or 4 years.
Oh,
That is
God.
terrible.
That
Yeah.
that makes me hurt even more.
Hurt just reading
Thinking
it.
about
My tarot and oracle card reading or any kind of pendulum work, anything of that nature can be dangerous because you're actually opening a door, asking to receive messages and connections from something outside of yourself. So you are, I have an echo really bad.
Yeah, I've been hearing it too. When any of us talk, I hear it.
Yeah.
Sorry. I don't know. I just now noticed it for myself. So when you're opening yourself up like that and you're doing card readings and you're saying, Spirit, can you please connect with me and give me a message for this person? You're not saying, hey, Grandpa Joe Armstrong or Grandma Marie Yates, connect with me. Only you connect with me. And only you are allowed to connect with me and give me a message to this person because they need to know what I need to tell them with these cards or with a pendulum or with I don't know, dowsing rods or crystals or some kind of divination device or thing that you're going to tell people's fortunes with, kind of, or give them advice and tell them what to do and what they want to know. You're opening yourself up and saying, hey, anyone that can give me the answer for this person, connect with me and tell me.
Yeah.
You don't have full control over who's connecting with you at the time. That's why it's dangerous.
And
It's the
if
same thing with an Ouija board. You don't always know who's going to contact you.
Are we going to say, Philip?
one thing I wanted to mention is going back to mediumship. You can have 5 mediums in a room on an investigation, and all of them pick up something different. Just because one doesn't pick up on this one doesn't mean they're a bad medium. We're all connecting to a vibration that we're resonating with.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't all get the right channels connected.
Yeah.
So just because, John isn't picking up on that ghost and Betty is, doesn't mean John's not a good medium. It's just he's not getting the vibration that the other one is, and vice versa. That can happen. And then sometimes, if everyone will get the same connection, but one medium is not going to get the same connection as every other medium. So just people need to be aware of that, because I've heard people rag on other mediums like, oh, they're not good because they didn't pick up on so and so. Well, doesn't mean they're bad. Just means they didn't connect with that spirit, because it's telepathy and energy and frequencies, and There's a lot of things got to happen to get that connection.
And you might be connecting yourself personally with something that's actually resonating with your vibration and your, energy. And then say Billy Joe Bob over there has a lower vibration, he's going to connect
Yeah.
probably more with a lower vibration entity, but that doesn't mean a lower vibration is not going to come to you if you're a higher vibration, because they're going to try
Yeah.
to drain your energy to use to manifest or to, for their own self gain
Mhm.
or reasoning.
And I've seen people because I don't know if you guys know on YouTube who Ghoulie TV is. He's a YouTuber that does a lot of paranormal places in Indiana. And when he went and did the Davies house, he brought a medium that he met at the Periandy convention out of Peru here in Indiana. And there was multiple things that, we knew about from the house, but she didn't pick up on. That's what I'm saying. Going along with you, that doesn't make her a bad medium. She's just not picking up on those same vibrations or on everything that's happened at that house.
Mhm. And I'm really good at helping people virtually because the energy that everyone brings into a location can change the total vibration of everything. I'm very good at helping people. Like I could be watching if they're doing a live and helping that way because
Mm-hmm.
their energy is not interfering for some reason. And I love to do that. I love to do. It's not remote viewing, but it's virtual mediumship.
Mediation.
It's like, yeah,
I call it mediation when you have other people watching you do an investigation,
yeah,
like what they did when they went to Waverly and everything earlier this year.
yeah.
I just call it mediation or hosting.
It's kind of like tag team wrestling, but your tag team psychic mediuming or connecting.
It's like, Philip, dragging me in, man. What's going on here?
Yeah, let's go, buddy.
Yeah, and it brings an interesting perspective and different ways for paranormal investigators like me, because I'm not a medium or anything like that, so I don't have any of those type of abilities. But I've been around the people who have, and then worked with them. So I mean, you get to pick up on the different ways they all do their own thing. But Yeah, it's pretty cool. It kind of goes back to the earlier conversation, is like what they're saying or what they're picking up on. If you can validate it with your equipment and see things from that way, because that's more or less like where I would come in and do things like that, rather than like Rosie would go in and do something differently. Like she investigates too, but it's just a different view that I don't have. So it's cool, like seeing it all come together and work together, and then what the outcome is. Especially with somebody that doesn't have that kind of ability.
Yeah, some people are maybe like there's part of them that's closed off, that's not as open as somebody else in that area.
Mm-hmm.
And you can, there are natural born mediums that they've just got the gift from the time they come out of the womb.
Hmm.
And then there are people that can be 70 years old and suddenly, their unfoldment happens. I mean, there's no set age range of when your abilities can pop out. So, people don't seem to understand that. I know a lot of people that theirs didn't come till much later in life. Maybe something personally happened to them. Maybe they lost a really close loved one, and then they wanted to connect with them, and they've learned to develop. So you can, the natural born ones, I think, have a little bit easier connection. But I think if you want to open yourself up and train yourself, I think a lot of people, we have this giant brain we only use a little bit of,
Hmm.
that you can make connections, because I have seen a lot of people in the paranormal field, as they get deeper into it, start learning about themselves and abilities that they didn't know that they had. But I think that's just becoming open to these vibrations and these energies. And when we're sitting in a dark room and saying, "What is your name? How did you die?" Doing an EVP session, well, that's opening yourself up.
Yeah,
So
Are y'all hearing that?
I'd see you moving around, and I'm like, wonder if something's going on or messing with you.
yeah, I keep seeing shadows on
So did somebody else. And I told him earlier, I saw something outside of his window, and it looked like it was just some kind of like dark blob moving around outside of his window.
Well, these back here, these posters, is just because my fan's on. But
Okay, 'cause that's what I was seeing.
yeah, I can see it too. But the outside one, I don't know what you're talking about. But it keeps sounding like a Mack truck's coming through here, just like it literally. I don't know what it is, and then by the time I take off my headphones, it's not there no more. But I can tell the difference of what it sounds like from what's coming from outside the headphones and what's in here.
Mhm.
You know, so it's clearly not coming from my headphones, but every time I take them off, it sounds not
Is
there.
it making you anxious?
A little bit.
Because I can feel anxiety somewhere. I don't know how. How I
I'm
know
always
that like I
anxious.
feel anxiety from someone else is because I all of a sudden want a cigarette. Even if
You
I
guys-
didn't think about it, and I'm just like all of a sudden,
You guys want to see a cool trick from my
I
headphones?
want a cigarette all of a sudden. Yeah, sure.
If I can find the right hole. There we go.
Joshua also said sometimes spirits hide from mediums because they're afraid of us. It's the truth.
Yeah.
They turn into pretty colors.
Oh, mine do too. I want to see yours. I'll show you mine. You show me yours.
Whoa!
Not that.
Didn't know that was that type of energy we were bringing into the show.
This
I
isn't
thought that
kind
was
of
like
show.
Howard's show. I was going to say that's just normally on the petri dish.
This is not the boom boom room or the petri dish or the swamp things. No boom boom room here. Yeah, these do that too. I just don't turn them on because I don't want to distract anybody while you know.
That's fun.
We'll see. Like even if I had mine on right now, you guys couldn't see it because it's just the R's that are on the side that light up.
Oh. Okay.
Beth
What
says
Josh is saying is true. If a lot of
spirits.
times, they don't want the truth out,
That's what I think. Yeah.
Mhm.
but you can get information psychically somehow, not necessarily from that spirit, but like this information I just got about that Mr. Davis, like in young women, he's not going to tell me that. So I'm getting that psychically from somewhere. I'm not sure where.
Might be one of his sons.
It could be coming from, somebody else.
Like somebody's trying to tell you something, tell on him, kind of warn you. I call it like a warning, kind of.
And that might be what it is because Nicole, like if you look at her, she doesn't look her age. She looks like she could be a teenage girl. But she's older than I am, but she looks like she could still be a teenage girl. Just like with the way that, physically looks and then her height and everything. I mean, could be a teenager. And I think that's why that house really loves her.
Beth's in Atlanta. Hey, are you on Atlanta Paranormal Investigation Meetup page? I think she is. I'm trying to get people together to do things, but it's like trying to herd chickens to get people to, get together.
Yeah.
It seems like the more and more I come onto the pun shows, I just get more and more pressure to go to Fear Fest this year.
I wish
Well-
it was closer to me.
Since you brought that up and it's been in the comments a bunch, you might as well talk about that for a second.
Mhm.
Fear Fest at the end of September. Was it the 24th, 25th, right, Rosie?
Mhm.
Yeah. You
It's
guys,
funny because I was typing that out as you're saying that.
yeah, I mean, it's just that we need to get people aware of it, and anybody in the region or just even all over the country who likes to go to Paracons, since we get viewers from all over. But yeah, you guys, you should come check it out. So it'll be a lot of cool stuff going on there. A lot of cool people to meet and talk to and listen to, and and experience, and vendors and everything.
I mean, it's a
So-
12-hour drive for me, though, so I'm still on the fence about it.
And there will be a VIP boom boom room, but those tickets are very expensive.
Cocktails.
I mean, the 2-day one was only $40 when I looked at it.
Booze and booze. Boozes and ghosts and booze.
That's one thing too. Like,
I'm
if you look it up and you buy tickets online, they're cheaper to buy online than they are at the event itself. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Eventbrite. The tickets were very cheap on Eventbrite,
yeah.
given the size that this
That's
Paracon's
fine.
supposed to be.
He said I'm spamming the shit out of all of our shows. Do it.
Huh.
Do it.
We've
I'm
seen
just
it.
going to have to tippy toe over the bubbles and be like, hi, buy the tickets. Hi, I'm still here. Yeah. I just moved myself to the top and put somebody else down there.
Well, I mean, Steven, if you want to pay for my hotel room, I'll come out.
Hey, some people are staying in campgrounds and some people are bringing RVs and sleeping in those, and other people are Rebecca the
I
Ghost
have a
Guide,
4-door
and
sedan.
them
I don't think I'm sleeping in my car.
they have a portable house. Like they live in a really big van that they gutted out and they remade it into a living space.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I've seen people, they've been taking little school buses and turning them into houses now, too.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to do that. Travel home.
Yeah. I'm not sure that Rebecca's going to bring the bus. I'm not sure. I think we talked about that. So
I thought she said they were. Well, not
I'm
the
not-
bus, but they're going to bring. Obviously, she said they're going to be staying outside in their van with their dog and the cat, and that we'll see them coming out and letting their little fur babies use the bathroom and stuff.
yeah, they
And
have a.
I got to find somebody to go with me because I myself cannot drive for 12 hours straight. There's just no possible way
That's me and
that I
Jason.
can do that.
Me and
Yeah.
Jason, you want to comment on that?
Yeah, we put a lot of hours on the road going places. So
Oh my
we-
god!
driving through Waverly or wherever else we're going, or even this, even the Fear Fest is like 5 hours away or something like that. So
See, Waverly's only like 5 hours away from me. And, you know, a 5-hour drive doesn't bother me. But when it gets to 12, yeah, I might be a little sleepy during that drive.
yeah,
You know, AKA, you know, start swerving because I only got one eye open at that point.
yeah, I
Not
believe
just snoring.
it ended up being like 12-hour drive for us to Waverly with stopping and stuff like that. So,
And we almost died.
yeah,
The
there's-
semi almost killed us. It was just like it was my fault.
I feel like he held a grudge for that one the whole trip back as well.
Who, Jason?
Yeah. He's like,
Probably
he
just
probably
because he
didn't
didn't want
let you
his
drive
truck to
very
get
much.
wrecked.
yeah,
I wouldn't want my vehicle wrecked.
I don't know.
I don't even know. He was partially awake. I think he was too tired to get mad, so he just wanted to stay alive.
Yeah, the drive back was even longer because we went to
Yeah.
Old South Pittsburgh Hospital. So,
Oh, so you guys went up after Waverly.
yeah. Well, that would have been south, but yeah,
Old Pittsburgh.
yeah,
From
because it's
Waverly?
2 hours for me.
Oh, that's down south. I thought that was up.
That's,
I thought it was up in Pittsburgh. I thought that's why it was called Pittsburgh. I'd never
That
really heard
would
about
make
it.
sense.
I know,
Right.
but it's not. Yeah,
Well, I should ride with Beth. I can't drive that far. I've got 10 screws in my right ankle.
There you go,
No,
Beth. Y'all live in the same city, right?
Drive more than 6 hours.
yeah.
You
So
know,
Beth, bring
Philip,
Philip
we'll
with
have
you.
to communicate on something because I really want to go to Savannah.
Oh, John's going to Savannah in June. No, it is already June. He's going sometime this month.
I'm possibly going there this month. It might have been when we were talking about it last week, but he was also talking about going there. But at the end of this month, I'm going to be in Atlanta, and then or Augusta. But I was wanting to travel to some other places in Georgia other than just Augusta.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be at the Oklahoma Paracon, guys.
John said he's going in July.
He's going in July. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, he just said in the comment section.
I know it was June or July.
One of those J months.
It's going
Where's Greg Cause? I don't see
the
him.
brewery place. So the name just went right out of my head. With the Shadow Man in the basement. What's that place called? Come on, something brewery. Moon River Brewery.
Moon River?
Yeah, I think that's the name of it. Yeah, they have a famous Shadow Man that's downstairs,
Yeah.
and plus the old hotel with the Civil War history.
I would want to go there.
I'm looking for his leg, I think, upstairs.
So, Jason, I might have found us somewhere to investigate today.
That's cool.
Yep.
John said Philip can talk to you about our trip to St. Augustine.
You can see the video. we live streamed the whole thing.
Yeah.
I go to St. Augustine every fall.
Okay, guys. The creepiest thing happened. Do any of you have like a Roku TV or anything?
No.
Fire stick.
I got a Fire Stick. Yeah.
So if you let it sit long enough, it goes to like a traditional Roku panoramic picture, whatever.
Yeah,
and then you gotta press the button to get back to the main menu. I'm sitting here, my button's over there on the bed, and you guys had I can't lean over and grab it without you guys noticing. And I just watched it flick to the main menu by itself.
Oh, wow.
I thought
I'm
my
telling
TV
you,
was auto shutting off.
something is going on there. Probably, I know it sounds dumb, and I don't know what it actually falls under the category of, but I think it kind of might be under thought form or manifestation, but like you don't know that you're doing it. But when you're talking about paranormal activity, some people, maybe they have some kind of PKE or something like that, and they don't know when they're talking about paranormal activity, stuff starts happening in their house.
I
It's
mean,
just like they're
my
talking
ex-roommate used to say whenever I would meditate, like he could physically feel the energy coming off of me. So I don't know. Maybe I'm possibly doing that, but then again, I have never felt anything in this house except for like the past few days. It's felt like something's been here.
What were you going to say,
And-
Philip?
If they St. Augustine video is on, I think that's on my Brave Souls Paranormal page where we're in St. Augustine. Oh yeah, I go every fall usually, and John came down and met me at actually Halloween night. We went downtown and went all over the place because I know that city pretty well and the hot spots.
What's makes Savannah? It looks like Disneyland.
Yeah. I think I've never been to Savannah, but I would imagine, like, you throw a quarter, it's gonna be haunted somewhere down there. I mean,
That's what I want to do is go explore.
I'm sure that whole place is.
Just walk around the whole town, just holding out a K2 in a spirit box. Just start walking.
I mean, it's sort of almost
kind of expensive though.
But what were you saying about St. Augustine, Philip?
Oh, I love it. You talk about haunted. I mean, you're walking on dead people everywhere. I mean, their bodies everywhere. I love it.
Isn't that up in the panhandle of Florida?
No, it's down below Jacksonville, Florida.
Okay.
Yeah. I love it down there. There's a building that I want to buy, but I don't have $1 million.
How far is it from Key West?
Oh, that's a long way. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, it's just down below. Well, there's Georgia, and then there's Jacksonville, and right below it is St. Augustine. So it's not far into Florida.
No, and Key West is way down at the past the end, and then you have to hop, skip, and jump across the water to the islands. Yeah, or take the.
Yeah, I went to Hemingway House in Key West, so that I didn't feel anything there. Never really felt anything in Key West of any of the places.
I was asking because I might get stationed there for a little bit, and I was trying to get stationed there, but I want to go to St. Augustine. I was like, how far is it from there?
I love St. Augustine. I'd love to live there, but I can't afford to live the way I'd want to live in St. Augustine.
Yeah.
My buddy actually used to be stationed in Fort Lauderdale down there.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
But he's not real big into the paranormal stuff, so.
Oh, well, what I was going to say, I just remembered. In St. Augustine this last time, I got to investigate the old Spanish Military Hospital Museum. And,
wow.
In Savannah?
In cool. St. Augustine.
In St. Augustine?
And we only got an hour and a half in there. My good friend Bonnie that lives in Florida met me, and we did it on my birthday. The owner of the museum swears that it's not haunted, that all the stories were made up because blah, blah, blah. She wants people to just come to see her museum, which is a wonderful museum about how the Spanish, how their medicine was during the 1500s. But You can see my video.
AKA equals death. No, the medicine, how the medicine was equals death. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they were very advanced. I was shocked from all the things that I learned at the museum. But yeah, that video I've got on YouTube and Facebook. But it was a fun place. We got some good activity because the building right next door I've investigated many, many times. It was antiques and unique collectibles. It's been on a lot of the paranormal TV shows. It's super haunted, but the landlord kicked them out. The building's empty and for sale. That's the one I want to buy for $1 million, but I don't have $1 million.
Oh my goodness! What was it? A mansion?
No, it's this building on Avila Street. Avila Street is the oldest street in continental USA.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, everything there's on it.
Before Plymouth, all that stuff. And this building is on that street, and these people that I have become friends with had an antique store in it, but it was on all the ghost tours, and I got to investigate it several times by myself. Oh my God, the place is so haunted, but never encountered anything bad in there. They were all pretty friendly, but I got them to come over to the hospital when I was there. I started calling for them, so you can see that on the video if you watch it.
That's cool.
Who came over there?
Do I?
I'm sorry, I'm like reading all these comments and I'm commenting back, and I heard you got them to come over to the hospital while you were there.
Yeah.
Who did you summon to the hospital?
The ghost that's in the empty building.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought you meant.
We got, the cat balls that light up.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing activity with that.
So many people have those.
We
need to get some, Jason.
They do not light up unless you touch them.
Mm-hmm.
Period. You
They're
can
so
hang on the counter, they don't go off. You got to touch them. It's fascinating. That's something, a $5 toy.
Right. Hey,
There's somebody talking about what's a specialist of colonoscopy down in the comments.
I'm not sure, but I'm going to say it's a gastroenterologist.
And then they came up and said gynecologist. And I'm like, I know that's not for a colonoscopy.
That's the wrong part.
Wrong plumbing.
Yeah, wrong end.
You got air ducts, you
you
got
were right.
plumbing. And one is air ducts and one is plumbing, and they're not the same.
it's about 9:30, Rosie.
Oh, it is. I mean, a French fry. Sorry. I'm hungry.
Wow.
Hi, Justine. You joined at the very last minute.
Yeah.
So if you want to go ahead and you want to say where they're going to be able to do pre-orders for your stuff, Blake, because you're going to make REM pods and stuff pretty soon. You want to give information of how someone can get a hold of you for that?
So you can just personally message me on Facebook. You can find me in the Paranormal True Society group, the Things groups, the Paranormal Swamp Investigations. If you just look up Blake Price, whatever, that's a picture of me standing in a mirror. You can see my beard, my glasses, my shirt, my Levi shirt. Just send me a personal message. We currently have 7 more spots left for pre-order. I'm only doing 10, and I've already got a pre-order from Dawn, and is it Adriana or Adrian Hart? Adrian Hart, yes, and then also Jeremy York.
Yo, Adrian.
Yep. So those 3 have already pre-ordered. So I have.
I'll probably pre-order one too.
7 spots. One. You want to pre-order one too?
Probably will tonight. Yeah, I probably will.
Well, then you know where to message me. You're Facebook friends with me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just send me a message request on Messenger, and then I do use Square. A lot of people use PayPal. I use Square, and they are going for $40 right now. Most places you go, you're going to find them for at least $180 to get a REM pod. But like I'm saying, these aren't the ones that aren't the size of the top of my cup. These are just little itty bitty ones that are probably, if you take my Roku remote and cut it down, it's probably about as big as that top half. It's not too big. You don't need a huge one. They're super sensitive. They're awesome.
Those would be great to like put down a hallway, line them up, or on a staircase, so you can
Yep.
follow the flow of energy.
They definitely are, and they're pocket size. I mean, you could just collapse the antenna and then stick it right in your pocket and be on your way. Except for the big one, you got to carry it around like it's a big old candle. But the ones that I'll be making, you can just collapse that antenna and then stick it right in your back pocket and walk on to the part of the location you're at, and then put it back down or whatever. But
That's cool.
it's definitely going to be a journey. I'll definitely only be doing REM pods for a little bit, but then hopefully be able to do REM pods and IR lights, and then hopefully start doing period-esque REM pods to where I'll go out and find hobby shops or antique shops and turn things from those places into REM pods as well. Kind of like the Boo
That's what I
Buddies.
like to do. But I don't do REM pods. I just turn them into a spirit box.
Well, I might do that, but
we
I'm
could
really gonna
collaborate. You can make the REM pods, and we could
You're
do a
talking
session
like,
together, maybe.
Like
Huh?
it would be like a trigger object.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the little Boo Buddies that you see,
Yeah.
and the little music boxes and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's why I think teddy bears are the best trigger objects, because I mean, you got to think of the thousands of years teddy bears and dolls have actually been around. So, and everything knows what I'm brain farting. Like almost every generation knows
Sorry,
what
I'm
a baby
posting all
doll
these
is going to look
comments.
like.
Like,
Yeah, I know. I'm
That's
trying to read them at the same time.
sorry, don't be a squirrel. Just kidding.
Oh, that's ADHD. That's why I'm surprised they called John Squirrel and not me, because we'll be talking about something.
There we
You
go.
just see me start looking over, and just start slowly turning away from the
I
conversation.
only do that if I notice something that I need to alert people of. Like if I see something going on behind them, I'm like, hey, hang on just a second. Look, there's something going on.
Yeah.
We need to move or whatever.
No,
Or like, hang on,
no
there's a ghost
Teddy
behind
Ruxpins.
you.
Those things scare me.
Huh?
Teddy Ruxpins terrify me.
Oh my gosh, I love them. I used to have one. I
No,
used to sleep with every
and
night.
when I tell people I'm afraid of dolls, I'm not talking about your antique porcelain dolls. It's those freaking La Loopsy dolls, the ones with the button eyes. They look like the people
Yes,
from
I have some of those
Coraline.
too. I have a Coraline doll too, hanging on my bedroom wall by my bed. I have a custom made, like special, from this lady in like Yugoslavia. She made me a Coraline doll right by my bed.
Probably a voodoo doll. You just don't know it.
It
Probably.
hasn't brought me anything bad yet, so maybe it's a protective voodoo doll. But
Just grab it and check it across the room, see what happens, and let us know.
I've got a good paranormal hack for you, though. If you do have a REM pod type of piece of equipment, if you take a thin copper wire and you take a regular teddy bear and you wrap the wire all through the teddy bear and then run a piece to the antenna of the REM pod, it will react when you touch the bear.
Mm-hmm.
You can also make a big circle with copper wire and attach it to the antenna, and you can make a sensitive area of anything.
It elongates that reach of that antenna.
Just makes it out further.
a conductor.
Well, I don't know. Them rednecks and crackheads might get to the copper wire before I can.
Yeah, I made my own Boo Bear with a copper wire and a REM pod. So,
Mm-hmm.
and a doll. Did it with a doll.
Where can we find all your stuff, Philip, and everything?
Your shows and stuff.
Oh, well, let me. I want to say Wednesday night, 9:00, Ghost Education 101. We're doing an ITC presentation with special guest Ron Iacovetti. He's really, really knowledgeable with ITC, and we're going to. He's going to talk a little bit about history of ITC. It's not just talking with ghosts. I mean, we've adapted it to something that it wasn't originally meant for. Mm-hmm. He's doing a lot with direct radio voice, and this is when you tune into a frequency with no, it's like a national emergency frequency type of thing where there aren't any signals coming through.
Yeah.
And getting communication that way through higher level spirits, getting information from, not a ghost, But
Yeah.
yeah, everybody tune in and just go to our page and the events there. You click on it to get a reminder. That's 9 o'clock Wednesday night.
Well,
And
I'll
for
have to
me,
do the
look
replay.
up my name on Facebook. So
Yes, but he has 2 profiles, so you have to get
I
the right
do.
one.
Yeah,
You can't delete the other one.
yeah. Thank you.
So,
Cool.
nope.
That's
Do you
been.
want to say anything else, Jason? Go ahead.
I'm just gonna say it's been great having you guys on and different having different perspectives of what how we investigate and how we do what we do. So it's cool how it comes together and we can show how we can work together. So
Absolutely.
that's pretty cool.
I find no problem. I mean, I'm starting to build the technology. Yeah, I want people to buy it and use it, but I'm never going to knock down the doors that a psychic medium can come through, or tell them, oh, you can't be with me because I make equipment. That this is what I
Yeah.
want to be my job. But I really love working with psychic mediums. I do. I mean, even though I've only worked with empaths and sensitives, I still haven't got the chance to for real work with the psychic medium. But I mean, I love what they do and I love what they can do. And they probably tell secrets about me that I don't want nobody knowing, because the ghosts that's following me around might be like, hey, he cut his pinky open when he was a preschooler. It's embarrassing. I was running around with the safety scissors doing this and sliced the pinky
Oh, yeah, I'm
open.
going to show you this. I'm listening to you, though. Look.
But a sensitive, if she's not a medium, but a sensitive can be very important to an investigation because they can walk through and feel the hot spots where you want to place equipments and cameras. They might not know why, but they can feel that energy there.
That's how I am. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great thing.
That's what I tell my team, because we have 2 GoPros on my team. And so once we get into a location, I'll just stand there for a second, and then whoever's got our GoPro carrier, I just take it out of their hands and start running into random places in the house and be like, do I want to set one here or do I want to set one there? And then I also got my little handy cam that I carry around with me.
A great thing if you can get somebody is get a body cam. I love my body cam because I just turn it on when I get out of the car, when my hands are free to carry equipment, because they know when the cameras are on and when they're not on. and phenomena will happen when your camera's not on. So I love having that body camera on, which you can also get EVPs.
We do have a
That's
chest
what I
mount
was saying today is I need a body camera, like a police camera, the little ink pen or whatever that's on you.
Yeah, I think mine's it's a
collar device, like a little one that clips on your collar. I need one because I needed one today.
That's mine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We got a chest harness for the GoPros and stuff. We got
What's that actually called? Like when
harness.
you look it up to order it, like the little tiny. It's not a GoPro, but it's
Cam Pro body cam.
Body cam. Okay.
Yeah.
I might get one of those.
That's what I'd look up. Just look up body cam and
you want one that'll switch from IR to regular vision automatically. When the lights go off, it'll automatically go to IR. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's another thing with technology. I very much prefer IR over night vision. Very much so. You will never change my mind. I prefer IR. I see better in IR than I do in night vision.
That's funny. Yeah. I can't help that. Well, we gotta go, guys. Everyone, we're over a little bit. That's not a big deal that we're over 10 minutes because there's not anybody else after us. So, but thank you, Philip. Thank you for Blake, both of you for filling in for Wayne since he couldn't be here tonight. And prayers and good vibes his way. Send lots of like grace and protective and healing energies and strength to him, so he can get through some personal stuff. All right.
You want to see who we got on next week, real quick?
Oh, who's on next week?
Yeah.
It's today. Drew.
Oh yeah,
the Fee House is on next week.
House boys.
The Fee House guys are on next week. So that's a location that's in Little Rock, the one I was talking about that we went to. That's the only one that's ever made me kind of just go and go nutso on people. And it's in Little Rock, Arkansas. Yes, they do. The Fee House on Facebook.
Yeah.
And I'll
I
be
mean,
putting out a flyer probably tomorrow for it, advertising and showing that's who we're going to have next week on here.
Y'all are gonna have to
Same.
show me how to make them flyers because I don't know how to.
She's good.
Okay. I can show you the 2 apps that I use. Well, there's 3 apps that I use. One is for videos and 2 are for flyers. I can show you what I use and they're free. Free. So
I
and
like
then
that word.
yeah, they're free. You can get a free subscription. So anyways, everyone have a good night.
Nah,
Gonna end this same bat time and same bat channel next week.
so
Keep it
everybody
creepy,
let-
guys.
good night.
So
Good
yeah.
night.